looks to be a brick. It's going to be picked up by number 9, Stephen Ruiz. He's going to be guarded by number 32, Garrett Westlake from Carlton. Also out there for Colorado, Ben Bronson, Mike Rafool, Nate Miller, Josh Heeman, Mickey Medzinski, and Keith Borsheim. Stephen Ruiz breaks it to Mike Rafool. Mike Rafool breaks it to Keith Borsheim. Keith is looking downfield, breaks it to Josh Heeman. Nice catch. Josh is looking across the middle of the field. He dumps it to Ben Bronson. He's holding it. Throws it to Mike Rafool. Rafool breaks it to Ruiz. And Ruiz is holding it. Ruiz throws it to Nate Miller for the score. Nice bid by Alex Nord on the defense. 1-0 Colorado. On defense for Colorado, Mark Driver, Josh Heeman, Stephen Ruiz, Nate Miller, Keith Borsheim, Ben Bronson, and Mike Rafool. Pull goes to Derek Gottlieb. Derek Gottlieb throws it to Phil Burkhart. Burkhart back to Gottlieb. Gottlieb to Garrett Westlake. The huck is up to Alex Masalis. Ben Bronson gets the D, but Alex still catches it. Alex breaks the mark to Brody Felko for the score. 1-1. Great D by Ben Bronson, but he just couldn't quite get enough of it.
Carleton goal. Alex Masalis to Brody Felko.
Mickey Medzinski, Brent Zionic, and Timmy Paymaster. Alex Nord with the pull. Also on defense for Carleton, Garrett Westlake, Sam O'Brien, Daisuke Fujisaki, Matt DeFort, and Nick Reich. Disc dump to Mike Rafool. Looks like there's a call.
Contested foul.
A contested foul on the mark.
Uncontested foul.
Mike Rafool breaks it to Keith Borsheim. Keith holds it. Breaks the mark to Rafool. Rafool breaks the mark to Brent Zionic downfield. Medzinski's going deep in the end zone. He throws it. It's a score for Mickey Medzinski from Brent Zionic. Alex Nord defending. 2-1 Colorado. Medzinski is quite the force on offense for Colorado. At 6'9", he is tough cover even for Alex Nord.
Colorado goal, Brent Zionic to Mickey Medzinski.
Bill Burkhart. To Gottlieb, up to Nord. Nord to Sam O'Brien. O'Brien looking for Alex Masalis, but a turnover. Brent Zionic defending. Colorado now going on offense. Stephen Ruiz is jogging back to pick up the disc. Brent Zionic is standing back for the dump. Also in for Colorado, Keith Borsheim, Timmy Paymaster, Brian Bogle, Nate Miller, Mark Driver. Ruiz breaks the mark to Miller. Miller throws to Mark Driver. Mark Driver back to Stephen Ruiz. Ruiz going deep for Brian Bogle. Looks like he's open. Brian Bogle for the score. Colorado gets the break, up 3-1. Gottlieb catches it. Colorado comes out in his zone. Alex Masalis has the disc. Back to Matt DeFort, over to Derek Gottlieb. Gottlieb to Alex Masalis. Masalis to Alex Nord. Alex Nord holds it, hits Gottlieb. Gottlieb dumps it to Phil Burkhart. Burkhart swings it around to Matt DeFort. DeFort back to Phil Burkhart. Burkhart back to Gottlieb. Gottlieb over to Alex Masulis. Alex Nord cutting. Back to Gottlieb. Over to Phil Burkhart. Burkhart across the middle to Nick Reich. Reich throwing to Alex Nord. Alex Nord being guarded by Tim Paymaster. Goal for Alex Nord from Nick Reich. Alex Nord is too much of a force in the air. Steven Ruiz over to Brian. Brian over to Ben Bronson. Bronson over to Brian Bogle. Bogle back to Bronson. Bronson over to Mike Rafool. Rafool hucks deep to Mickey Medzinski, open for the score. Score is 4-2 Colorado. That's 3 goals from Medzinski already today. Carlton's going to have to find a way to stop Medzinski from getting open in the end zone if they want to win this game. And Nate Miller. Steven Ruiz with the pull. Derek Gottlieb going to receive. Gottlieb lets it land. Landed out of bounds. He's going to walk it up for the brick. Brian Bogle will be on the mark. Phil Burkhart back for the dump. Gottlieb has the disc. Gottlieb's throwing it deep to Alex Nord. Nord chasing it down. Makes an amazing catch. Great catch by Alex Nord. Score from Derek Gottlieb. The score is 4-3 Colorado. Timeout called by Carleton.
Let's work this in and score this. We have two to burn. Two to burn. Patience. So wide open, guys. Come on, Bird. Mamabird on 3. 1, 2, 3. Mamabird! Bird! Fantastic.
Matt DeFort with the pull. It's away to be caught by Ben Bronson for Colorado. Bronson up to Steven Ruiz. Ruiz being guarded by Sam O'Brien. Looks like there's a foul call. O'Brien tapped the disc in, still in Ruiz's hands. Ruiz dumps to Ben Bronson. Ben Bronson breaks the mark to Nate Miller. Nate throws it across the field. Turnover in the end zone, looking for Mike Rafool. Sam O'Brien picks it up. O'Brien to Matt Hahn for the score. The score is 4-4, ties it up. Miller just didn't have enough air under that pass to Rafool. Floated harmlessly to the sideline in the end zone. Matt DeFort with the pull. Received by Ben Bronson. Bronson up to Mike Rafool. Isolation play. Looking for Steven Ruiz. He has him. Medzinski was open in the open field. Breaks the mark to Mike Rafool. Rafool up to Medzinski. Looks like there's a foul call. Brody Felsch defending Mickey Medzinski. Brody Felsch defending Madzinski. Disc in, passes across the field to Brian Bogle. Madzinski's not a great thrower yet. Frequently he looks nearly to dump it. Bogle passes to Brent Zionic. Zionic looking for Mike Rafool. Madzinski with a great catch over Brody. Throws it to Mike Rafool in the end zone. Looks like there's a pick call. Passes it to Brian Bogle for the score. Mike Rafool breaks the mark. Very nicely done. 5-4 Colorado.
Colorado gold. Mike Rafool to Brian Bogle. 5-4 Colorado.
Mike Rafool with the pull. It's off. Josh Ackley also in for Colorado on defense. Pulls out of bounds. Derek Gottlieb walking it up for the brick. Phil Burkhart standing back for the dump. Looks like Colorado is in a zone. Josh Heeman on the mark. Josh Heeman still on the mark. Swings it over to Garrett Westlake. Westlake breaks the mark to Derek Gottlieb. Gottlieb up to AJ Wang. Looks like they're in a man now. Back to Derek Gottlieb. Gottlieb over to Phil Burkhart. Burkhart out to AJ Wang.
Foul called.
Foul called. Josh Ackley on the mark, AJ Wang with the disc. Wang looks off Nick Reich. Throws it back to Derek Gottlieb. Swings it over to Phil Burkhart. Phil Burkhart back up to AJ Wang.
Foul called.
This is coming back. Looks like it may have been an offensive foul on Phil Burkhart. Keith Borsheim to tap it in, disc in Phil Burkhart's hands. Burkhart back to Derek Gottlieb. Gottlieb over to Garrett Westlake. Westlake up to Alex Nord. Alex Nord over to AJ Wang. But Nate Miller gets in for the poach D. Josh Ackley was defending. AJ Wang had no idea that Nate Miller was there. Colorado's disc, chance to go up 6-4. Mike Rafool picks it up. Mike Rafool throws it to Mark Driver. Mark Driver looking upfield, guarded by Alex Nord. Driver over Mike Rafool. Looks like there's a call on the play. Offensive foul called. Derek Gottlieb on the mark, disc in Mike Rafool's hands. Mike Rafool over to Josh Heeman. Great bid by Garrett Westlake.
Good call.
Dumps it back to Mike Rafool. Rafool back up to Josh Heeman. Heeman throws it across to Mark Driver. Mark Driver throws it behind Keith Borsheim. It's a turnover. Phil Burkhart picks it up. Foul called on Keith Borsheim. Puts the disc back in. Back to Derek Gottlieb.
Violation called.
Looks like the disc is going to come back to Phil Burkhart. Borsheim defending. Over to Derek Gottlieb. Gottlieb throws it around to Sam O'Brien. Excuse me, to Garrett Westlake. Westlake throws it cross field to Nick Reich. Reich to AJ Wang. Wang calls a foul on Josh Ackley. Disc is back in. Up to Gottlieb. Mike Rafool got a little piece of it, but not enough. And a hammer across to Alex Nord for the score. Score is tied 5-5. DeFort with the disc to pull. Offense for Colorado is Stephen Ruiz, Tim Paymaster, Brian Bogle, Jeff Gondor, Mickey Medzinski, Mike Raful, and Ben Bronson. Pull is off to Bronson, throws it up to Raful. Looks like Carlton's coming out in the zone. Raful throws a hammer to Stephen Ruiz. Ruiz up to Brian Bogle. Bogle breaks the mark to Jeff Gondor. Gondor has the disc. Throws a big dump to Ruiz. Ruiz easily catches it. Upfield to Medzinski. Medzinski breaks the mark to Tim Paymaster. Paymaster holds it. Paymaster throws it across to Brian Bogle. Bogle and Mike Raful. Raful to Jeff Gondor. Gondor holds it. Throws a dump to Stephen Ruiz. Great bid by Garrett Westlake. Ruiz breaks the mark to Jeff Gondor. Gondor throws to Mike Raful. Raful breaks the mark to Medzinski. Medzinski throws to Tim Paymaster, not quite a goal. Tim Paymaster calls timeout.
Timeout, Colorado.
Let's go, boys! Let's do it! 1, 2, 3,
Oh, Tim Paymaster throws it, and Ruiz makes a great grab to save the dump. That was really close. Ruiz to Medzinski. Medzinski has the disc. Oh, that looks like that might be an offensive foul on Medzinski. Knocking over Sam O'Brien. Oh! And Medzinski throws it over Sam O'Brien to Stephen Ruiz for the goal. O'Brien was really overmatched there, giving up at least 8 inches to O'Brien, giving up at least 8 inches to Medzinski, allowing Medzinski to simply throw over him for the goal. Fort, Phil Burkhart pulls off, goes to Derek Gottlieb. Gottlieb picks it up across the field to Fort. To Fort up to Alex Masulis. Masulis up to Alex Nord. Nord over to Phil Burkhart. Nate Miller defending. Over to Garrett Westlake. Garrett Westlake looking deep to Alex Nord. Mark Driver defending. Alex Nord still makes the play. Carleton scored a huge number of their goals this year with long throws to Alex Nord. He's such a force in the end zone. Driver's a strong defender, but he was just overmatched once again. The pull is off from Phil Burkhart. Looks like Raful's going to catch it. Raful throws it up to Stephen Ruiz. Looks like there's a foul called on Mike Raful's cut. The crowd does not approve. Chase Sparling Beckley accused of the foul. Observer rules no foul. Ruiz dumps it back to Raful. Raful throws it back to Ruiz. Ruiz looking upfield for Eric Albright. Albright breaks the mark over to Tim Paymaster. Paymaster over to Brian Bogle. Bogle over to Keith Borsheim. Looks like Medzinski was open deep, but nobody was looking for him. Borsheim throws it over to Steve Ruiz. Medzinski coming in. Ruiz throws it over to him. Medzinski breaks the mark to Brian Bogle. Bogle over to Ruiz. Ruiz over to Tim Paymaster. Back to Steve Ruiz. Ruiz holding it, dumps back to Mike Raful. Raful breaks the mark to Keith Borsheim. Nice inside-out forehand. Borsheim's holding it. Looks like there's a pick called. Up to Tim Paymaster. Fujisaki guarding. Over to Medzinski. Medzinski throws a forehand. Oh, just over Keith Borsheim's head. Medzinski generally is not encouraged to throw forehands in Colorado's offense. Maybe that's why. Sam O'Brien picks up the disc, Borsheim defending. O'Brien throws it to Alex Nord. Brian Bogle defending. Across to Chase Sperling Beckley. Sperling Beckley calls a foul on Mike Raful. Raful taps it in. Looks off Fujisaki. throws a dump to Sam O'Brien.
Foul called.
Disc goes back to Sperling Beckley. Beckley throws a dump to Sam O'Brien. O'Brien throws it upfield to Nick Reich. Reich looking deep for Alex Nord. Brian Bogle defending. Brian Bogle gets the D. Reich could not get that disc over his head. Microfool with a big crossfield hammer to Tim Paymaster. Paymaster makes a great grab over Daisuke Fujisaki. Paymaster throws it upfield to Stephen Ruiz. Ruiz looking upfield. Ruiz dumps back to Brian Bogle. Bogle back to Ruiz. Ruiz over to Eric Albright. Albright dumps it back to Brian Bogle. Alex Nord on the mark. Bogle throws it back to Microfool. That was almost D'd. Up to Stephen Ruiz. Tips it, then drops it. Looks like there might be a foul call. Matthew Fort on the defense.
No foul.
No foul ruled by the observer. Carlton's disc. Sam O'Brien picks it up. O'Brien looking upfield. Breaks the mark to Matt DeFort. DeFort up to Nick Reich, guarded by Mickey Mandzinski. DeFort breaks the mark to Sperling Beckler. Sperling Beckler back to Sam O'Brien. O'Brien holds the disc, throws it across to Fujisaki. Fujisaki back to O'Brien. Keith Borsheim defending. Big inside out throw to Alex Nord. Brian Bogle defending. Nord dumps it back to Sam O'Brien. Looks like there's a pick called. Looks like the disc is going to be tapped in. Looks like there's a foul on the mark. Borsheim called with foul, no contest. Taps this back in. Breaks the mark to Nick Reich. Score is 7-6 Carleton. It's Carleton's first lead of the game. We'll have to see if Colorado can answer. Brody Felsch with the pull. And it's off. Ben Bronson to receive. Bronson catches over to Steve Ruiz. Ruiz holds it. Breaks the mark to Rafool. Rafool throws it across the field to Nate Miller. Miller guarded by Alex Nord. Miller throws it to Mike Rafool. Almost to defense. Rafool up to Stephen Ruiz. Nick Reich almost got that D. Ruiz up to Brent Zionic. Zionic over to Josh Heeman. Heeman up to Mark Driver. Looks like there's a pick call.
Good call.
Sam O'Brien defending. Josh Heeman up to Mark Driver. Driver over to Steve Ruiz. Ruiz holds it. Ruiz dumps it to Ben Bronson. Bronson back to Ruiz to see how much of this offense Ruiz really is. Ruiz up to Mark Driver. Driver over to Nate Miller. Alex Nord defending. Miller dumps back to Bronson.
Offensive foul called.
Offensive foul called on the throw. Miller throws it over to Mike Rafool. Rafool over to Josh Heeman. Heeman up the middle to Mark Driver. Brody Felsch defending Driver. Driver breaks the mark, and it's D looking for Mike Rafool. Great D by Nick Reich. Reich taking off for the end zone, and the throw is up. Nick Reich catches the score. Score is 8-6 Carleton. That's halftime. Great D by Reich.
Carlton College championship from Nick Wright. 8-6 halftime, Carlton lead. Coming up, the men's spirit award.
And the pull is off. Derek Gottlieb to receive. Colorado coming down on off defense. Carleton up 8-6. Gottlieb over to Phil Burkhart. Burkhart over to Sam O'Brien. O'Brien up to Alex Nord. Back to Sam O'Brien. O'Brien looking deep for Alex Masulis. Ben Bronson defending. The huck is up. It's going to be a jump. Bronson and Josh Heeman get the D. Looks like Masulis took a lot of contact. Don't know if there's a call on the play. Josh Heeman helping Ben Bronson out on the defense. Looks like there's no call and it's a turnover. Colorado disc. Colorado really needs this point badly. Microfool picking up the disc, walking it up. Derek Gottlieb defending. Also on the field for Colorado, Stephen Ruiz, Josh Heeman, Mark Driver, Keith Borsheim, Nate Miller. Microfool holds the disc, throws it over to Mark Driver. Phil Burkhart defending. Driver up to Nate Miller. Miller being guarded by Brody Felsch. Miller up to Ruiz. Ruiz guarded by Sam O'Brien. Looks like there's a call on the field. Disc is in play. Ruiz throws it back to Ben Bronson. Bronson swings it across to Microfool. Fool throws it over. Nate Miller barely stays in bounds.
Contested stall.
Looks like there's a contested stall on the play.
No stall.
Observer rules no stall. Miller's disc on the sidelines. Miller being guarded by Brody Felsch. Miller throws it across to Ruiz, guarded by Sam O'Brien. Ben Bronson was open, streaking deep. Ruiz breaks the mark to Mark Driver. Driver being guarded by Alex Nord. Mark Driver calls a foul. Driver breaks the mark to Nate Miller. Miller stays in bounds. Miller's throwing deep to Stephen Ruiz. Sam O'Brien guarding. Ruiz grabs the disc, holds off Sam O'Brien. Score is 8-7 Carleton.
Nate Miller to Steve Ruiz. 8-7 Carleton.
For defense on Colorado, Mark Driver, Nate Miller, Brent Zionic, Ben Bronson, Brian Bogle, Tim Paymaster, Keith Borsheim. Mark Driver with the pull. Derek Gottlieb back to catch it. Lands out of bounds. He's going to take it at the brick mark. Gottlieb running the disc up. Brian Bogle to defend. Gottlieb breaks the mark over to Alex Nord, being guarded by Mark Driver. Nord throws it back to Gottlieb. Gottlieb across to Phil Burkhart. Burkhart made a big throw upfield. Alex Masulis making a great catch. Tipped the disc up in the air, managed to catch it despite Nate Miller coming in to try and get the D. Derek Gottlieb takes it over to Phil Burkhart. Over to Alex Nord. He's inbounds but not in the end zone. Alex Nord throws the dump over to Derek Gottlieb. Brian Bogle defending. Gottlieb over to Phil Burkhart. Borsheim taps the disc in. Burkhart throws it to Derek Gottlieb. Gottlieb over to Sam O'Brien. O'Brien breaks the mark over to Alex Nord for the score. Well executed play by Carleton's offense. Dump swing, break the mark for the easy goal.
Here, wrestling to Alex Nord. Carleton 9, Colorado 7.
On defense for Carleton at this point, Matt Dufort, Chase Sperling-Beckley, Alex Masulis, Sam O'Brien, Nick Reich, Daisuke Fujisaki. Pull is off. Stephen Ruiz to catch. Up to Micro Fool. Looks like Carlton's in his zone. Also for Carleton, Jay Plasman. To Brent Zionic. Back to Steve Ruiz. Over to Micro Fool. Raful throws it back to Ruiz. Ruiz throws it back to Raful. Raful throws it up to Medzinski. Medzinski back to Keith Borsheim. Borsheim over to Brent Zionic. Zionic up to Brian Bogle. Bogle throws it deep to Titty Paymaster. Beautiful play by Colorado. Matthew Ford on the defense there, but he wasn't even close.
Colorado great, Brian Bogle.
Score is 9-8,
Paymaster.
Carleton.
9-8 Carlton.
Phil Burkhart. The pull is off. Derek Gottlieb back to catch. Gottlieb over to Phil Burkhart. Colorado's out in defense. Looks like it's a zone. Gottlieb over to Brody. Brody dumps it back to Phil Burkhart. Burkhart over to Sam O'Brien. O'Brien over to Garrett Westlake. Westlake looking for Alex Nord. Mark Driver and Nate Miller defending. Also Brody Felsch in there. Alex Nord couldn't get it, but Brody Felsch does.
Foul call.
Both Colorado players were concerned with Alex Nord at that point. Nobody chose to get a body on Brody Felsch. Felsch back to Gottlieb. Gottlieb breaks the mark over. What a great catch by Matt Hahn. Score is 10-8 Carleton. In on defense for Carleton, Nick Reich, Daisuke Fujisaki, Sam O'Brien, Alex Nord, Matt Hahn, Matt Dufort, pull is off. Jack Faden to catch for Colorado. Throws it up to Mike Raful. Sam O'Brien guarding Raful. Raful's got the disc. Raful breaks it over to Steve Ruiz. Ruiz holding. Ruiz throws up to Jack Faden. Faden with a very nice catch. Faden throws it back to Ruiz. Colorado's deep in their own end zone. Ruiz over to Mike Raful. Raful up the line to Mark Driver. Mark Driver dumps it back to Raful. Raful breaks the mark over to Steve Ruiz. Ruiz up to Mark Driver. Great bid by Alex Nord. Driver drops the disc, but I suspect it will be a foul.
No contest.
No contest. Driver picks it up. Great bid by Alex Nord, but he got there too late. Driver taps the disc in. Driver going deep to Madzinski. Madzinski making the great grab over Nick Reich. Madzinski with the easy goal to Eric Albright. Once again, Carleton defender is just too short to catch the disc over Mickey Madzinski. Pull is off. Gottlieb to catch. Gives it back to Gottlieb. Gottlieb up the line to Brody Felsch. Felsch back to Gottlieb. Gottlieb over to Matt Dufort. Dufort up to Chase Sperling Beckley. Deep to Alex Nord. Mark Driver defending. Alex Nord tips it. Mark Driver couldn't get it. Great catch by Brody Felsch. Felsch did a great job following up that play. Mark Driver did a fantastic job on defense. He can't be expected to guard two people. Score for Carleton. Score is 11-9. Matt Dufort with the pull, and it's up. Mike Raful to receive. That's going to land out of bounds. He's going to take it at the brick mark. Raful bringing it in. Jay Plasman to defend. Steve Ruiz back for the dump. Matt DeFort on him. Checked into Raful. Raful calls the foul. No contest. Raful with the first try. Brody looking for Brian Vogel. Brody Felsch with the D. Sam O'Brien picks it up. Back to Daisuke Fujisaki. Fujisaki across to Matt DeFort. Makes the catch. Steve Ruiz defending. Up the line to Brody Felsch. Brian Vogel defending. Over to Sam O'Brien. Keith Borsheim defending. Looks like a timeout called for Sam O'Brien. Score is 11-9. A score for Carleton would make it a very difficult hill for Colorado to climb. The disc is in, throws a dump to Fujisaki. Fujisaki's going to catch it. Bronson in pursuit. Gets the mark on, back to Sam O'Brien. O'Brien back to Fujisaki. Ben Bronson defending. Sam O'Brien up. Great bid by Nick Reich, but he couldn't quite get there. Colorado gets the turnover. Mike Raful tap it in. Jay Plasman defending. Raful dumps it back to Tim Paymaster. Nice bid. Great defense by Chase Sperling-Beckley. Steve Ruiz gets it. He's throwing it high to Madzinski again. Madzinski makes yet another great grab. This one over Nick Reich. Paymaster pulls, but it looks like it's offsides on Colorado.
Offsides.
Just a repull on this, no penalty. Paymaster to pull again. Paymaster puts it up. Not as good a pull this time. That's going to be a short pull, but it lands in bounds. Derek Gottlieb picks it up. Colorado's in his zone again. Colorado, Gottlieb up to Phil Burkhart. Burkhart back up the field to Gottlieb. Gottlieb throws it to Brody Felsch. Felsch makes the D. Felsch dumps it back to Gottlieb. Gottlieb throwing a hammer to Alex Nord. Tim Paymaster in there. Alex Nord over two Colorado defenders. Mark Driver and Tim Paymaster, neither could get there. Scores 12-10 Carleton. Great catch by Alex Nord. Great throw by Derek Gottlieb.
Alex Nord. 12-10 Carleton.
Brody Felsch with the pull. It's high and a little bit short. Ben Bronson to receive. Landed out of bounds. Instead, Mike Raful will take it. Raful walking into the middle, Sam O'Brien guarding him. Also on the field for Colorado, Stephen Ruiz, Brent Zionic, Jeff Gonder, Josh Heeman, Mickey Madzinski. Mike Raful throws the disc to Ruiz, but it's a turnover. Looked like there's a foul call.
Foul call.
O'Brien to tap the disc in. Disc is in play. Raful breaks the mark to Ruiz. It's a little far, but Ruiz runs it down. Ruiz throws across the field to Josh Heeman. Nice throw.
Rick.
Looks like there's a pick call on the throw. Disc comes back in. Heeman with the disc. Heeman breaks the mark to Mike Raful. Raful over to Steve Ruiz. Ruiz throws the disc cross field to Mike Raful. Nice catch by Raful. Looks like there's a pick call. After the throw, the disc will stay in Raful's hands. Raful up to Josh Heeman. Heeman dumps it back to Stephen Ruiz. Looks like there's yet another pick called. Ruiz up the field to Mike Rafool. Great catch. Rafool throwing the hammer cross field to Jeff Gonder. Alex Nord making the D.
Foul call.
Looks like there's a foul call. They're discussing. Observer calls no foul. It's a turnover, Carleton's disc. Carleton up 12-10. Garrett Westlake picks it up. Rafool guarding him. Westlake upfield to Sam O'Brien. O'Brien stays in bounds. O'Brien throws it across to Brody Felsch. Felsch back to Sam O'Brien, but leads him a little too much. Stephen Ruiz to pick up the disc. Ruiz looking deep to Madzinski. Madzinski guarded by Nick Reich. Reich tries to foul Madzinski. He just can't do it. Madzinski stays on his feet, makes the catch.
Steve Ruiz to Mickey Madzinski.
The pull is off. Derek Gottlieb back to receive. Gottlieb over to Phil Burkhart. Eric Albright defending Burkhart. Burkhart fakes, throws it upfield to Derek Gottlieb. Barely gets it off at a high stall count. Looks like Eric Albright is calling a travel.
Offensive foul call.
Observer rules no foul, or possibly Albright pulled it back. Gottlieb's disc. Keith Borsheim defending. Gottlieb breaks the mark to Alex Nord. Nord dumps it back to Derek Gottlieb. Gottlieb over to Phil Burkhart. Burkhart up the field to Plassman. Plassman back to Gottlieb. Gottlieb across the field to Burkhart. Nice break mark. Burkhart throwing it back to Borsheim. Up to Alex Nord. Mark Driver defending. Alex Nord making a great catch over Mark Driver. Looks like Nord might be hurt. He took a hard fall on that one.
Call and go, Garrett Westlake to Alex Nord.
Garrett Westlake with the throw scores 13-11 Carleton.
Injury timeout.
Looks like Alex Nord is okay. Walking off the field. Carleton to pull. Mike DeFort. DeFort with the pull. Colin Gottlieb back to receive. Gottlieb is just a freshman at Colorado. This is the first action he's seen this game. Gottlieb over to Mike Rafool. Bid by Sam O'Brien, a little bit late. Rafool up to Keith Borsheim. Jay Plassman defending. Borsheim back to Gottlieb. Gottlieb up to Nate Miller. Miller up to Mike Rafool. Sam O'Brien defending him. Rafool across the field to Nate Miller. Miller back to Stephen Ruiz. Ruiz over to Colin Gottlieb. Excuse me, that's not Colin Gottlieb, that's Gabe Hamilton. Also seeing his first action of the game. Ruiz with the disc, back to Mike Rafool. Rafool breaks the mark to Hamilton. And Keith Borsheim. Borsheim makes a great catch, but Carleton is calling it down. Observer calls it down. It's a turnover, Carleton's disc. Up 13-11, to score this goal would pretty much seal the game. Sam O'Brien to pick it up. O'Brien looking deep to Nick Wright. Tim Paymaster defending. Paymaster trips. Nick Wright with the catch. Back over to Sam O'Brien, not in. Stephen Ruiz on the mark. Across the field to Daisuke Fujisaki for the goal. Scores 14-11 Carleton. Gabe Hamilton defending. Pull comes down. Ben Bronson to receive. Bronson up to Ruiz. Almost a great D by Felsch. Up to Mark Driver. Mark Driver drops the disc. Matt Hahn was defending there, but Driver just dropped it. Went right through his hands. Derek Gottlieb picks it up. Gottlieb looking for the score. To Nick Reich. Nick Reich with the goal. And that's the championship. Final score, 15-11. Carleton wins their first ever national championship.
Final score, Carleton 15, Colorado 11. There are presentations for open, men's, and women's divisions. Spirit and championship will take place in 5 minutes.